On Tuesday, the NASDAQ went up mildly, but as a small stock tech trader, all my small tech and artificial intelligence stocks went up wildly. A primary example of what a good day it was for me, I made about 30,000 on Tuesday, and Vertiv Holdings helped a lot. Its symbol is VRT. They make cooling equipment for data centers, and it went up almost 15% on Friday, and it's gone up 193% for the year. There is strong demand for the stock as its relative strength is 77. I'm getting to see the relative strength as more of an indication of demand for the stock than anything else, at least in a rally. AppLovin, symbol APP. We love AppLovin. It's went up another 7% on Friday. Now, you would think, looking at the chart, it's made 706% year to date. You would think it's got to be overbought. Its relative strength is 90, but I've made way more money trading stocks at the top than bottom fishing. And I got a stop loss on this of 4%, and that's what I do with all my stocks, and it seems to work out pretty well for me so far. AppLovin is involved mainly with mobile advertising, and they must be loving their advertising. And Reddit is a silly social site that I even read once in a while, and it's interesting to me, and I find myself reading it without really trying to follow things too much. And it's been very profitable. On Friday, it went up almost 6%. Year to date, looking at the chart, it's made 180%. And its relative strength is 72, which is good. So another stock seemingly at the top that I think I started trading it like in the low 100s, and it's come up to 137, which I never imagined before. But the stock market will blow your imagination away if you let it. And then we have Nvidia, which did well on Friday. It went up almost 5%, and it's gone up 196% for the year. And I think the earnings on Wednesday are just going to be of gigantic implication. I hope they're at least okay so that it more or less holds where it is. But I think there's going to be a reaction, and I hope it's to the positive, which, of course, we all hope. Its relative strength is only 59, so it's not overbought at all. And then Palantir, I loved this stock when it first came out, and then I hated it. And now we have reconciled, and I have bought back into it. And I've been extremely lucky lately. It hit a high of 65, and of course I thought that was too high, and I sold it, and then I bought back in at 60 because I know this has a big crowd following, and that's going to stick with it. And then it went up another almost 3% on Friday to about $63 almost. So it's definitely a hold for me. It's made over 266% since the beginning of the year. To give you an idea of how overvalued most YouTubers think it is, recently one YouTuber was saying he was hoping it would stay above 40. So to stay above 60 is a feat. But I think if Nvidia goes down, it's going to affect all these stocks, at least somewhat. Palantir has a good relative strength of 71. And Oracle, symbol ORCL, which is in the software sector, has been a very solid investment. You can tell you're having a great year when your fifth best stock year to date has made 79%, almost 80%. Wow. What a year. What a year. Oracle added another 3 points on Friday to be at $188, and it has a good relative strength of 66. Robinhood, symbol Hood, HOOD, has managed to lure a lot of investors, especially new investors, with its innovative stock trading and crypto trading platform. Its relative strength is a solid 74. And I misspoke earlier. This stock actually has done better than Oracle year to date. It has made 175%. So another wow stock. And Hood is trading at a more reasonable price of 35. And now you have Bitcoin rocketing up from the 50,000s, which is when I started trading it. And now, as I record this, it's at about 92,000. When you have the President of the United States pushing a project, it's probably going to work. So I think we're destined to 100,000, and who knows after that. I trade Bitcoin using the Fidelity Bitcoin Fund, which is FBTC. I think that you're able to trade Bitcoin using a stock ETF has been so beneficial to Bitcoin. And I think third world countries with poor currencies may adopt Bitcoin. Instead of watching their money go down the drain, they might actually make some money on it being used as a currency as it is being used in Nicaragua. Fidelity Bitcoin, its relative strength is 77, and it's gone up again from the 50s to about 80. FBTC's year-to-date performance is 92%. Nowadays, I trade the TQQQ, which is the triple leveraged version of the QQQ, which is the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ. The TQQQ is the bullish fund. And looking at the chart, you can see that the QQQ year-to-date has made over 22%, almost 23%, while the TQQQ has made over 52%. And look at the hills and valleys on the TQQQ. That's why I use it. You want that variability when you're day trading. And right now, it's strictly grab the cash and run. If I make a couple thousand on a trade, I typically trade around $200,000 at a time. And so it's high stakes, and I got to watch it every second that I'm doing this. But if I make a couple thousand, I'm good for the day and I'm gone. And so I expect to keep doing that. And, you know, the thing about the Magnificent Seven, they're all wonderful stocks. And this gives me exposure to them without the high risk of trying to guess which particular one is going to be taken off at a given time. Plus, you have the added diversification of 93 other major companies from the NASDAQ, the top 100 companies from the NASDAQ, which is kind of a good safety factor. Another outrageous investment has been NuScale Power Corporation, SMR. You want to read that as Small Modular Nuclear Reactor. It's your neighborhood nuclear reactor, which is far safer. And artificial intelligence is looking for sources of energy because they use massive amounts of energy to do their complicated computations. Year to date, it's made 721%, and it keeps going up. Recently it was like around 24, and it jumped to 27. So it's just very much a wow stock. Its relative strength is 69, so there's demand for this. And if one of the biggies, one of the Magnificent Seven, would take them up, they would skyrocket. And I think that's sort of the hope and expectations. But you can see why I have such a close stop loss on stocks like this, because they can rocket up and they can rocket down too, that I'm aware of, but they haven't so far, and I've been very lucky. And then we have Dell Technologies, DELL is the symbol, of course, and it's made 77% year to date. It's a low performer compared to my other stocks. Touch me, am I real? So I've been very lucky. I think timing has been important this year. We've had downturns, and I hope that the Nvidia earnings come through, because they surely will affect all these stocks. Dell's relative strength is 58, which is okay, but it's again, to consider that 77% is sort of a disappointment is you're having a wildly crazy year, which this is, and it's great, but it keeps you on edge, and that's why I'm watching them every minute. I wasn't able to do this until I retired, and now I can do it, and it seems to be very successful for me. Thank you for listening.